And I don't know where I'm going with this. I thought I'd seen him in something else, and now I can't find it.
Turns out not.
Turns out not. He's in a lot of things. I know I've fucking seen him somewhere. I just can't. I don't know what the fuck it was. So we're just, just cut that. Cut all that. That's a waste of goddamn time. A waste of goddamn time. Welcome, horrible people, to the Horrible Opinions Podcast. And as always, I'm your mediocre host, Kenny.
I'm Daniel.
I'm Ragtime Ryan.
Oh, fuck, that's good.
Yeah.
And today, we're probably gonna choke because we did not chew our food.
It's ragtime.
But I'm gonna open my mouth real wide.
He's gonna take it like a champ. I mean, a chomp. As we watch Chompy and the girls. Okay, boys, let's talk about how Ryan finally did a good thing, and he went out and he just watched something on his own called Chompy and the Girls, and then he told us something along the lines of, maybe you guys should watch it, maybe we talk about it, and the way he's talking about it just set my expectations so low for this, because I'm like, why doesn't he think it's good enough to talk about? I don't know. It looks interesting. I'm going to go ahead and guess that, Daniel, you really liked this movie, didn't you?
Yep.
I'm going to guess that I also really liked this movie.
What, do you have to guess about your feelings?
Don't worry about it. And I'm going to guess that Ryan liked this movie, and he knew what he was doing all along.
I initially watched this movie only because of its poster.
It's a good poster.
It's a good poster.
Funnily enough, I had added this to my watch list, but I had completely forgot about it. So when you mentioned it, I'm like, oh shit. I remember like adding that just because of the poster, which I'll probably just use that poster as the image for this episode, because it's truly, I cannot make something better than this. It looks good. And the fact that the poster kind of accurately represents what it looks like in the movie
is quite good, right?
It's very good. It's very good. So who wants to give me the synopsis of Chompy and the Girls?
So, Daniel, you got a face. You want to go?
I want to hear yours.
Chompy and the Girls is about a daughter connecting with a father she's never known, and the entire experience is then, how should we say, crashed upon when in the park they watch a little girl getting swallowed by another man in the park.
Okay.
Chompy.
I'll give my synopsis now.
That's the synopsis of this movie.
It's a father-daughter team battling an extra-dimensional parasite with the help of some friends, and they come to some realizations along the way.
That's great.
But can you draw a magic circle?
No magic circles in this movie.
The things people call our magic circles. Okay, it's all the politic.
Okay, God, where to begin with this little gem of a movie? How about the beginning? Or the end?
So we start with the attempted suicide at the beginning.
Yeah, so we get a little hand-drawn note coming up, and it pans out, and it just says the end. And it's like, the end? Already? We're at the beginning.
It has a smiley face.
It had the smiley face, and we get our main character, Jackson, played by Christy St. John.
I'm going to call her cool clothing. You ready?
I don't like the jacket.
I love the jacket.
It's got too many holes.
It's got a lot of holes.
I love it.
I don't love the jacket.
She pulls the jacket off.
She does. Okay, so that's the thing. So Jackson here is about to try to commit suicide. She has a noose. She has a rolly chair already, and she puts the noose around the ceiling fan. What were your guys' first thoughts?
My first thought was, I don't know if I actually want to watch this.
Okay.
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning.
Yeah.
Mine were, that's not going to hold her weight. Unless she has the most gentle drop ever, that is not going to hold her weight. And either she manages to kill herself, but then the body is going to like just drop and lay there at some point, which would have been kind of depressing. Or it's just not going to work. And, well, it didn't work.
Yeah, she broke her ceiling fan.
And now, not only is she not dead, but she's also not going to get her security deposit back.
Yeah.
That's another reason to be real sad. But did you guys see that really cool rock she had on her table that had like a face painted on it and then a cigarette in its mouth?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a hardcore rock.
Then we get this title sequence, which is like, I call it like chalkboard surrealism.
Okay.
Sure.
A whole bunch of images that look like they've been, drawn on a chalkboard, and they just get progressively weirder.
So those are the pictures from the occult book that she picks up from Lotus later.
Yes.
I love Lotus. Yeah. So that's our introduction to Jackson. Here's my thing with Jackson here. We're trying to get this implied like she's depressed, potentially druggy, suicidal.
I mean, you look at that apartment and the state of it, and you're like, yeah.
But look at her.
Well, I mean, looks like she's got bags under her eyes.
Yeah, that's the most they do. Her hair is perfectly like done. Her makeup seems like it's done. Like she looks like put together. She does not look like she's at wit's end. Like it kind of failed on that part to me. Like she is way too put together for someone who just, and this is like for the entire movie, for someone who just tried to kill herself earlier that day.
I think it was a spur of the moment suicide attempt.
You think she just already had a good rope?
The red rope is important, but yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying, who just has rope lying around these days?
Let alone
what do you
red
use a rope for?
The color red is important in this movie.
Is it?
It comes up a lot.
Ooh, okay. Look, I'm going to ask you this. Who doesn't consider sandwiches dinner food?
It is more of a lunch,
What?
But like if it's warm,
I will
hold on.
fight you on the
Hold on,
toasted bread battlefield.
You let me finish.
Cut your veins and let your mayonnaise just
I had a
explode.
sandwich for
You
dinner
let me
last
finish,
night.
you son of a bitch. Okay, you let me fucking finish. A cold sandwich is 100% a lunch. You toast it, it's good for any time of day.
If you're an adult, you can eat whatever the fuck whenever you want.
Oh, this is also true. But also, who's going to be that ungrateful when, oh, well, you kind of got upset that I didn't bring any food home last time, so I went ahead and brought home food, and then you get mad about it again? Like, I don't care what the fuck he brought home. He tried. Cut him some slack. I think they should get a divorce.
Who are you talking about?
Talking about Sam, who is Jackson's father, he doesn't know that yet, comes back home from work to his wife, Deborah, who asks him if he got any food, and he's got sandwiches, and she is so fucking disappointed that he got sandwiches, and when she eats that sandwich later, she is like, hate eating it.
That's some nuance in her performance for you to pick that up.
So
Yeah, no,
immediately,
she was, like, going
their
hard at it.
relationship is portrayed as not being great.
She makes fun of his boots.
A little toxic, I'd say.
Well, it's their
Little by the
short-
numbers.
By the numbers, yeah. I mean, look, he brought his sandwich home for dinner, but he did it without her even having to tell him to bring dinner. So he's thinking about her without her having to remind her. And you know what? He's come with a banger of a work story.
Oh,
That's true.
George quit, okay?
Who?
To go become a swamp person.
George, who works at Logidex, the marketing company.
Yeah, he's gonna be a swamp person and hunt gators.
Yeah, and all the things that go with it.
Yeah.
I want to become a swamp person, if I'm being honest.
Look, he's got these sweet new boots, okay? They're these sweet snakeskin boots.
Snake died for those.
Yeah, Snake died for those boots. The only problem I have with them is you don't tuck the business slacks into the snakeskin boots,
Well,
okay?
okay,
They go,
the second
Well,
those boots come
agree
out,
to
I'm
disagree.
like, okay, I immediately know what's up with you. You're having a midlife crisis.
no, he's
I
having
got
a
you.
midlife peak. He ain't crisis.
No, it's a
He's
crisis.
not in crisis mode. He is in his prime.
When she makes fun of those boots, I immediately said, I hope Deborah dies.
Whoa.
Whoa.
You don't even know her, man.
She's not appreciative of my boy Sam, and I think he's great. He's trying his best, okay?
Is he, though?
He's trying. He brought home a sandwich. And he brought home that story about George, who's going to become a swamp person. What more do you want?
He didn't ask her how her day was.
Well, shit, clearly not good. She's over there like, oh, I'm busy doing all this stuff on the computer. What does she do? What is even she?
We don't know. He didn't ask about
Well,
it.
he would know. He's her husband.
It looked like some kind of design.
Yeah, it looked like
Well,
she
she
was doing
sucked
like some
at it.
Photoshop shit and whatnot.
But I mean, he's trying to tell her the George story, and she's all, "Oh, okay, yeah, I don't really have time." She goes back to doing what she's doing. Okay, that's fine. And we're introduced to Deborah and Sam. We're like, why are we introduced to them? We just watched this girl try to hang herself from her ceiling fan. That didn't work out. Okay,
Yeah.
go back to girl with the ceiling fan. She starts making some phone calls.
She starts reaching out to people.
Yeah.
She wants to make a connection now.
Yeah, she's
wanna hang out?
looking for anything, really.
Starts with her friend Lotus, gets an answering machine, calls her mom. Mom answers, says, can't talk right now. Hangs up on her. We're like, okay, great. Calls her dealer Tony.
Wants to hang out with him.
Yeah, well, oh, you hear about the church party? The chapel party?
Chapel retreat, chapel sleepover, whatever it was.
I kind of thought we would just hang out.
Oh, we don't really have that kind of relationship.
Okay, you
Well,
don't have to be a dick about it.
it. And then yeah, so she's all sad. Then we cut back to Sam, who receives a text.
This is, oops, daughter.
I'm your daughter. For 24 years, or 24 years ago, you left a girl. You didn't know she was pregnant. She didn't tell you, but hey, let's meet. So I think, okay, Sam panics and he lies to He lies to Deborah about having to go back to the office for an emergency, which that's probably not okay.
Poor communication.
Yeah, but also, like, man, Sam just goes and does it. Like, just believes this random number that texted him.
Well, so she's reaching out because she needs something in her life, and I believe that he is also looking for something new in his life. So why not go check this out?
That's fair. I'll give you that. So, yeah.
And, as we later find out, Sam is very willing to go and talk to everyone.
The people. Yeah.
She needs to.
Talk to monsters, talk to creepy things, talk to people, everything. He let's talk it out, figure it out.
Yeah, so they go meet at the park, and it's kind of awkward because it's like, hey, I'm your dad, you're my daughter, like, but what kind of relationship are we trying to have here? Like, I don't know if I'm ready. Like, I literally just found out, like, she ambushes him because she's known. How long did she say she'd known?
She's known her whole life.
Whole time.
Yeah, like the mom wasn't keeping a secret, so she's had time to mentally prepare for this.
And
this
it's
is
important because while they're having this talk in the background, Birch walks by in her red jacket. Awkwardly, weird walk.
Birch is just a little girl, probably like, I don't know, 10 years old, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
7 to 10.
She's just walking in the background.
Just chilling.
Yeah.
We're getting a little tension between Sam and Jackson. Like, Sam's like, I can't do this. She's like, oh, you don't want to get to know me? He's like, no. Like, I'll message you. I just can't yet. And then
I thought they were gonna bond over true crime because she is wearing a Lizzie Borden shirt,
and then he does the rhyme.
He's like triggers him to do the rhyme, and you're like, oh, hey, you know what? We already got something in common.
Yeah. Then she goes on to be a little freak, where she's like, yeah.
Yep, she went too far.
Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy isn't an icon of this day.
Is it mainstream enough? You need
yeah.
Not gonna recognize his face.
She's a little freak.
I mean, I don't know. These are shirts we'd probably wear.
Oh, I'd wear the hell out of it. I like Jackson. I'm sorry, when she starts going, sometimes if you go be crazy, people will leave you alone, and she proceeds to do that like twice in the movie, and it's phenomenal.
It's so good.
What happens though as they're starting to
So she notices that Birch is standing off to the side, weirdly staring at them, and then a man approaches Birch. A man in a weird red women's shirt. A suit jacket.
It's got a V-neck.
Yeah.
It's like a shallow V.
But anyway, that shirt is red, and then he
got a little suit jacket on.
Opens a big old mouth and gobbles Birch up.
I don't think we can quite describe just what this
mouth distends all the way down, like halfway down his torso. And the whole thing so it's not just like an opening mouth.
It's like Scooby and Shaggy eating a giant sandwich.
Yeah, like the tongue, the lips, the teeth, they all grow in size. So it's not just a big opening.
There's an Adam's apple, like a little clock pendulum in the back just wiggling around.
It's beautiful. And yeah, he just straight gobbles her up. And so what do you guys do in that situation?
I think the exact thing they do, which is like, leaving.
Yeah, gotta go. Like, well, we didn't see that. I do the same thing, but I have to make a comment about like not chewing your food.
Okay.
Like he didn't. I was like,
okay, do you shout that at him as you're running?
You should chew your little girl.
You should chew your little girl.
You should really chew your little girl food.
Look, you've got a real special talent, sir, and I'd hate to see you like choke on it. So they run away.
I wasn't sure.
But he starts coming towards them too.
Yes.
Yeah.
He notices them noticing him.
So the implication is that he's coming to chomp them down as well.
Yeah, or recommend like where they can buy that woman's top. And at this point, I've also noted that I love this movie so far. So, like I said,
at this point, I'm all in.
Yeah, the way you set us up for it, Ryan, I was not expecting anything truly enjoyable. So I had.
It's just because it's so weird.
And we've watched weirder, I think. I know we've watched weirder.
This is like a high concept one where it's like there's a guy walking around eating little girls.
No, look, I'll tell you my movie recommendations, and this is gonna fit right in with some things. Like, don't even. It's weird. It's fun. Check it out. Good episode, everybody.
I haven't even begun.
Oh, it's so they split up.
I've been promised greatness.
Sam runs home. Jackson runs home. I love that Jackson starts fucking Googling it
while smoking 2 cigarettes.
2 cigarettes like walrus tusks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Man eats girl.
Beautiful.
Cannibalism is on the rise.
Got the articles about the bath salts people eating people's faces.
And yeah, she's getting a lot of questionable things when she Googles man eats girl. You see like big booty like porn ads on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam gets home, didn't bring food, doesn't really talk about, can't really keep up with his lie about being at work, and just instead runs over to the sink and starts throwing up.
Yeah, because she starts mentioning food.
Yeah,
I think
and
that
then
that was the.
Do you know?
trigger.
And then they're not really cuddling on the couch. They're sitting side by side. He's got a blanket on her. They're not sharing the blanket, and she's pecking.
That's what she's hate eating that sandwich. Because she doesn't even pull the paper down good. Like, I swear she's, like, biting into the paper, too. She's just, like, eating it in the most spiteful way. She needs to chew her food, too. Because she's going too hard at that. Someone's going to die.
And then, at Jackson's apartment, there's a knock.
Okay.
It's a crock.
This first knock
Talk to me.
is not Chompy.
Okay.
This first knock is Birch.
You think because when she opens the door, once she opens the door, there's no one there.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm following you, that's because Chompy is on his way. Birch realizes that, and that what made Birch leave.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Chompy just breaks the door down.
He really does. His mouth does his Chompy thing. She takes a broom, like, sticks it all the way in there.
Which I love. Because there's got to be a back.
It's just so weird.
Her
It goes
reaction
right in
is
there.
perfect.
It's great.
Perfect.
Jackson is all of us, except for the killing ourselves bit.
And the pizza boxes.
Well,
Okay, there was a lot of leftover pizza
And
there.
the
I would've put
heroin.
that in the fridge.
well,
Okay, the cocaine.
And the cocaine.
Maybe. Daniel would wear that jacket.
I would wear that jacket.
Daniel would wear the jacket.
I don't love it. So she books it out of there because now we've got a situation where, okay, clearly Chompy is hunting us. So
Chompy is following them.
yeah, so she takes off and we cut back to Sam making some toast.
He's having a little late night toast jam snack, I guess.
Yeah, a little jam session with the toaster.
This is just how boring he is, that he's toasted bread.
What kind of toast was it? What kind of bread was that though? Was that like a rye? Like
I don't
a
know.
dark rye?
I should have.
Couldn't tell.
It was a dark loaf. But you clearly hear someone enter the house. Like, she did not sneakily break into the house.
Right.
I was like, someone's in the house. But he still is not reacting.
Yeah, he's unconcerned.
But then it turns out Jackson broke into the house because she's here to save dear old dad.
Here's Manic Jackson.
Okay. Jackson is in the house. Sam's like, what the hell are you doing here? She's like, oh, it's coming after us. We have to go. The wife comes out. She's like, who this? Are you sleeping with my husband? Like, you didn't tell her? That's my dad.
Well, that's my dad, and we saw a man eat a girl, and we gotta go.
We gotta go.
We gotta go.
We gotta go.
Gotta go now.
Gotta go.
Gotta go right now.
Probably not after you. It's after us.
Which is a weird assumption to make, but
It hasn't seen her, so she just goes back to bed.
It makes drug addict sense.
yeah, sure.
Hey, don't worry about it. She pulls a knife out and says, I don't remember, but she threatens him with a knife. Like, you get in the car.
I'm an ace at throwing knives. I will
Oh,
throw
yeah.
this into you. Come with me now.
And then he
Something like,
throws
I'll throw
his
this at
butter
your
knife at
face.
her.
I was in the army.
Yeah, I was in the army. Yeah, Sam throws a butter knife at Jackson.
Just kind of,
Kind of just hits her jacket and falls to the floor.
really, dude?
Good jacket.
That's great.
Put your shoes on. Let's go. And then Deborah does something nice and gives him a hat like it's cold out there. Gives him a shitty little hat.
Well, Deborah looks out the window and then sees Chompy coming down the road. Is like, who's that? Oh, we gotta go. So yeah, she gives him that shitty little hat. He looks ridiculous in.
He looks
does.
ridiculous.
He
yes.
takes it off in the car.
And of course, he puts on his snakeskin boots.
Well,
Yeah.
those are his shoes, yeah.
And then they're like arguing in the car a little bit. He's like, you broke into my house. You've threatened me. You told her you were my daughter and that a man ate a girl. Like, this is just not okay. All this kind of stuff.
It's all true, though.
So for really good interactions and banter between these two.
Yes.
It's phenomenal. It's good. It's great. Well written, like, dialogue between characters. Especially, like,
Yeah.
in an insane situation.
A ridiculous situation.
Yeah, like, I haven't encountered anything like that in a long time.
And she's acknowledging it. This is fucking weird.
He's a little more hesitant.
But I've got a friend
Lotus.
who's into magic with a K,
With a K.
so he can help us.
It's supposed to be real.
We go to that church.
We go, I think it's the drug chapel party, but right before we go to that scene,
Oh.
it cuts to a black shot with the girl from the park, Birch, emerging from shadow and then coming into light and then just walking through the street.
Yes, and my thoughts there was like, how's the girl back? And then I was actually closer than I thought on this. I go, maybe he spits them back out cured of all their ailments. Like maybe this is like a John Coffey situation of the Green Mile where Chompy eats people and then like he digests whatever's wrong with them and then spits them out healed.
I thought that she was a lure and he was some like an anglerfish situation.
Sure.
Okay.
And so he had just cast her out at the park, a really long line, reeled her in, nothing bit.
Nothing bit.
Nothing bit.
But
And
then
he
he's
saw
like,
some other
oh
people
shit, there is.
who saw him do it. He's like,
yeah.
oh, I don't need a castle, I'll just go get them. You know, like, I'll pick up the fish with my hands or my net myself. I don't need
I'll
the
do
rods.
it
So
myself.
maybe he's a hero and he's out there trying to catch and eat child predators.
Okay.
No.
No, but I see where.
I see where you're going.
No, that's where you were going. Okay, I thought he was a hero in a different way by curing ailments.
I thought he was just a monster who was eating people.
I too thought he was a monster eating people.
But then how'd the girl get back?
She's the bait.
Oh, to catch child predators.
No.
Yes.
Why would it be a child as bait?
Well, not child predators, but anyone who would like want to help a young girl.
You would get a
who's
lot
in
of
distress.
You'd have a big potential audience there because you got the child predator audience, but you also have the good people who want to look after a child who's alone for some reason.
Yeah, but you know who would not fall for that trap? They had that sketch on Key and Peele, I think,
Of not helping a white girl.
of not helping the little white girl.
Yeah.
And that was pretty good one. You should go watch that because they couldn't help her. They'd get in trouble. So they'd be safe. So you guys both thought monster. At this point, I thought, okay, there's a twist here and he's actually helping these people somehow. And that ended up being closer.
Pretty close. We get to the chapel party. We walk in, and it's all people on different assortments of drugs, doing drugs, dancing, touching
You've got
themselves.
every kind of
hugging
party
themselves.
person there is. You got the dancing people. You got the person who's just freaking out, hugging a body pillow.
Oh my god, there's a guy with no shirt on, like eating something, and you just see like his fat rolls and stuff, and I identified with that.
You got a person doing coke off another person. You've got it all.
Was this after we seen Jackson got caught doing coke in the garage before they left?
Not yet.
No, that hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
That hasn't happened yet.
So we're going around the party. A couple drugged out people tell Sam, "Man, I like your boots."
Yeah,
So-
everyone's like
Everyone
really into
likes
his
the boots.
Everyone
Yeah.
likes his
Yeah.
boots except Deb.
And that's fantastic for him. I'm glad Sam could have this moment.
This is the best night of his life right now.
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah. We fucking Lotus crawls out of like a trapdoor, right?
Yeah.
Why don't we have a trapdoor now?
Lotus.
So she starts explaining to Lotus. She doesn't even really get to explain what happens. He just instantly calls out that, oh, it's a Rexala, and here's what it does. It's a shadow parasite that attaches itself to someone out of nowhere. Am I wrong, or has she not really even explained anything yet? Like, she starts, but he interrupts.
Yeah, pretty much.
Lotus is good.
Now,
He's a quick thinker. He knows how to
It's
solve all
not
problems.
that he's
properly.
a quick thinker. I believe that Lotus is a seer, a magical person of some sort who can both see the future and has magical properties.
So what you're saying is you want there to be a sequel, and it turns out Lotus is the reoccurring character in all these things. He's the Constantine of this universe.
And this is further cemented when, as they're getting ready to leave, Lotus locks eyes on a couple. Nothing suspicious has happened at this point, but Lotus is kind of freaking out a little bit. And then the man drops a roofie into the girl's drink. But Lotus has already sprung into action before that even happened.
It was pretty bang bang.
Because he can see the future.
I'll have to rewatch it. I thought he just happened to glance in that direction.
He
and then
freaks
seen
out
the pill
before
happen.
anything happens.
I love that if true, and I'm gonna take your word on it because I want to believe that. I will rewatch this movie at some point.
I can further add fuel to this, because when we get to his house, there are little googly eyes everywhere,
Yes.
thus proving that he is a seer.
And
Jesus
not just
Christ.
into arts and crafts and put some Google
Okay,
Not
eyes
just
so-
yes.
on his
So-
paper mache lamp.
So he
Correct.
can
Well, it's
see
not just on the
things.
lamp. It's on the fridge. It's on the cup. It's everywhere in the house.
So he sees.
I only noticed it on the lamp, and I loved it on the lamp.
He sees. Yes.
But okay, he can see things, but does he react properly?
Well,
okay.
he's been roofied.
Well, he roofied
He
himself.
roofied himself. Now, in ancient times, the seer would induce a state of, what would you call that?
Trance? A trance?
Induce a state of trance by taking drugs.
Okay, sure.
which he does.
So you think he does that on purpose just so he can be able to see even more?
Mm-hmm.
Even though, does he give any more information at all after this point that helps?
He gives her the book.
But he didn't need to see to give her the book.
Yeah.
No. I think he just...
I'm with Daniel on this one.
He was dumb and just chugged them. Like, they were right. You could have just dumped it out. Now, if he had some, like,
just because he's a seer doesn't mean he's, like,
smart,
intelligent.
Yeah. If
or
he had
perhaps doing that in some way hid his... Okay, I don't know why he did that. But
hid his true abilities.
Maybe it was hiding his true abilities, because when they get Birch in the car later, we're not there yet, but when they get Birch in the car with him, she is looking at him strange, freaking out about him being there. She says something's off about him. She is threatened by him.
And we are to assume it's because he's drugged and acting weird.
But really, it's because he has magical properties and knows exactly what she is, because he's already called it out.
I'd like to see, like, the companion movie to this from Lotus's perspective, where he is doing all this, and it turns out he's like, well, like I said, he's the Constantine of this
yes
universe. Yeah. Nope, I like it.
All right, that's my Lotus theory done. We can go back. All right, I took us off the rails, bringing us back on for a bit.
Yeah, I had a note here. Like, should we tell our rapey house party story, Ryan?
Well, unless we're gonna cut this, you're gonna have to. Otherwise, that just sounds really terrible.
Yeah, maybe rephrase that.
Maybe we should rephrase your starting sentence on that one.
Well, okay. I guess there's two. So, have either of you ever been roofied before?
No, but I've been next to someone who has.
Damn.
Nope.
I have. I'm pretty sure it was a mass hit at a party where they just, any cup that was sitting down, they just dropped it because it would make no sense to roofie me.
I don't know. You got it going on. What's up?
Look, man, I'm not gonna be able to get it up.
Well, no, that ain't what it's about.
That ain't the point.
Well, that's true. Anywho, I get to a party. I have my first drink. I get halfway through this beer that I set down, and then all of a sudden I'm feeling it hard. And I make it back to my car, and I fall asleep in the back, like, pretty much instantaneously, and just had a couple hour nap, and kind of woke up, like, groggy as shit, and somehow made it home. And that's the only thing I can think of, because I had nothing else to drink. It was half a beer, and that's rough. That scared the hell out of me, because literally, I don't think my drink was, like, ever really out of my sight. So that's when you get the rule, like, if that drink leaves your hand, that's not your drink anymore. So there's a little safety thing. Never lose sight of your drink. If you do, get a new drink. Pour it yourself. Don't trust anyone.
Don't trust anyone.
Don't trust anyone.
You're not wrong. You know what I like to do? I take a sip, I put my drink down, I turn away, I look back, I go, that's not my drink anymore, and I just knock it on the fucking carpet. Done. It's not my house either. I don't have to clean it up.
Yeah, fuck it. And then we were at the house party once, Ryan and I, and we had a friend of mine had some dude that was like creeping up on her.
He was more than creeping up. He was like trying to grab her by the hand and get her to leave, and she clearly did not want to.
Yeah, so then I had to like square up on the little man. Thankfully, I think I had like a foot on him in height. And it's like, yeah, no, I think you're good, man. She ain't going anywhere. Like, go away. And thankfully he did, because I'm a lover, not a fighter. But that was really weird. And it's what I'm saying is, it sucks, and it's weird that this shit actually happens. Have a good long talk with your kids before you send them off to college. How to be safe at parties. This is your public service announcement from responsible adult Kenny that there's a lot of creeps out there.
Pro tip: if you see someone put a pill in someone else's drink, do not go over and then drink that drink.
Yeah, don't drink that drink. Unless you are a
licensed seer
who needs to.
You've done the rituals. You've burned your feet. You've inhaled a whole bunch of incense. That's what he was probably doing under the house, Daniel.
Sure.
God, we need a trapdoor
in his temple.
That wasn't his house.
Well, that's why he could knock the drinks over and it didn't matter. Fuck it.
So, look, I lied to myself when Birch is back.
When you see Birch, so they leave, get in the car, and then when you know it, Birch is just walking down the street right towards them.
Yeah, and I said I knew that kid was evil. I didn't. I lied.
So here is where I start to draw comparisons between Birch's behavior and the dog from The Thing.
Oh.
Ooh, okay, go on.
If you digitally replaced Birch with the dog from The Thing, you would have the same movie.
I don't remember the dog talking about Banana Man, but I see where you're going.
There
Sure.
are more people that would go over to help the dog than there are that would help the little girl.
Exactly.
Now, that's true.
And we wouldn't have had to have that conversation about child predators again.
If this Rixella spirit was clever, it would have taken over a dog, but dogs are probably so happy they wouldn't get taken over.
Take me.
Yeah.
Woof, woof. They see Birch, and then, so they...
They take Birch.
Sam and Jackson first go out, because Sam wants to talk to her, and Jackson wants to interrogate her. What are you doing out on the street alone? What time is it?
Where are your mom and dad?
Valid questions.
What have you been doing all day?
Where were you yesterday?
I was watching a movie. What movie did you watch? And she said Banana Man. And then I'm like,
Oh, yeah?
that sounds like a lie.
What's it about?
It's about a man. He's a banana man, and he lives in the jungle with strawberry cherry, and they have to go to the puddles to get milk. And vegetable soup doesn't want them because it's her milk, and there was a mouse, and it eats them, and they're okay.
I'd watch that movie.
There was a mouse that eats them. And
A
then
mouse
got
that eats
done,
them, and they're
they're
okay. Yes.
okay.
She just got done watching or playing some bug snacks.
Ooh,
What it was.
bug snacks.
Dank ass bug snacks. I mean, look, that's a believable story. Banana Man.
Sounds like it to me, yeah.
And they make her sit in the back seat with Lotus.
Well, they notice Chompy chomping towards them. So then they scoop her up, get her in the car, and put her in the backseat with Lotus, who's roofied and is in the process of passing out. But she doesn't like Lotus.
Now, Daniel, who was sitting behind the passenger seat? Was that
Birch? It was Birch.
Okay, so what position in the car would you say that is called? If you were to say, hey, I want that seat
Now-
before I get in the car?
And now, if you were to call that out, much like to get in the passenger seat, you would call out shotgun, right? We all know this.
Right, it's established.
Now, what a lot of people probably don't know is that to get in the back seat, you call out babyfoot.
What?
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. It's,
That's right, Ryan. A couple years ago, I invented the term babyfoot for when you want to get in the back.
when you want to get the seat
What?
behind the shotgun seat.
This is a true
Daniel,
thing.
you're the seer. You saw this whole movie.
Yeah. As soon as okay, so we get away from Chompy, we get to the Jackson's house, right?
Yes. In between that, I think Deb shows up
No, they're taking Birch to Lotus's
to
house.
Lotus's house.
Oh, Lotus's house.
Because that's where we get the book.
Yes, and is that when she does the drugs in the garage?
Yes.
And Sam sees that and doesn't approve, and she's like, it's just cocaine.
And Birch doesn't want to be left alone with Lotus, which is weird because that is what the parasite wants, because it needs to be alone with him to do its little transformative shit. But she
With
doesn't.
spoilers.
But she doesn't
Birch
do it on
is,
Lotus.
Birch is the parasite.
But she doesn't do it to Lotus, even though there's ample time and opportunity there.
So my thoughts on that.
Hold on. Speaking of Daniel, what time is it?
It's ragtime.
Ragtime. Fucking bust out a little ragtime piano solo. Ragtime.
So weird.
So
It's very
Once-
weird.
once I found out that Birch was the parasite, I went back to that scene in my head of her not wanting to fuck with Lotus in the car while he was on drugs, and all I could think of was the faculty.
Okay.
The drugs, killed the aliens in the faculty.
Which,
But perhaps
that fuels my seer thing, because he knew he was going to be alone with her, so he took the drugs because he knew that
Beautiful.
she wouldn't do it.
I'll allow it. That is a perfect tie-up to that.
God, I'm good.
Yeah.
Which one of you saw the solution to this problem of what is Chompy? The solution was go in his mouth and find out.
Well, okay, so before Babyfoot happened, absolutely
Oh,
not.
we haven't even mentioned Baby.
I'd
You,
say
you
we
went
haven't
off on this
talked
cool
about it.
tangent about Daniel inventing Babyfoot.
Yes. Well, okay, so...
And then it's showing up in this movie.
So Jackson puts Lotus to bed because he's all drugged up and he's got his googly eyes lamp and stuff. We come back
And
out. we
Jackson
see
gives her the red book.
the red book. She comes back out flipping
Or
through the red
Lotus
book.
gives Jackson the red book.
Yeah. We see Sam's legs sticking out from behind the kitchen counter. Jackson's looking for him. Gets over there. Birch is sitting there over Sam's head. And then she scuttles away.
So what I would have liked is to have had some kind of effect.
Like
I would say like a visual distortion.
yeah, I'm trying to think of like a Dementor sucking the soul out, right? Sucking the life energy
Yeah,
out.
something like that, or even parts of him were just a little bit like evaporating kind of thing, or something in the air. Just
Or
a little something.
let's just get a straight up fucking just like a puking a bug thing into his mouth.
But I don't
But
think that's not.
What was it? The hidden?
Yeah, let's just straight up show a transfer of a parasite.
Oh, you puking the blackness in there?
Yeah.
Getting
Okay.
some black oil into his eyes, something like that. Well,
Sure.
but that's okay.
Something.
I mean, what they did, it was fine.
It worked.
It was. I mean, it's fine because of the payoff we get in another 2 minutes.
Birch skedaddles away. Jackson is like, Sam, wake up, wake up, wake up. She's like, man, it's like you were like, I don't know, not just asleep, but.
And she says, hold on, let me get you some water. Pours the
And
water.
she drinks the water.
She drinks the water.
Yeah, it's good.
And look, the whole time I want you guys to know I'm watching this movie, Kim was on the floor doing diamond painting. She'd occasionally look up and she'd be like, what the fuck is this? And she looked up in perfect time to see Sam without one of his boots on.
Baby foot.
So he tries to walk, and he kind of stumbles. And he's like, something's wrong. Pulls the boot off, and what does he have?
A baby foot.
It's got a baby, although it shouldn't be a baby foot.
It's
it
a
should
child
be whatever
foot.
the size
Child
of Birch's foot is, right?
But
and I
I
think Birch would have probably a bigger foot than that.
Whatever.
don't know, maybe.
Child
I
foot
yelled
doesn't
baby
sound
foot.
as good as baby foot.
That's true.
I yelled baby foot.
I
He yelled baby
also
foot.
yelled baby foot.
I knew you would. And that's when I said, maybe Chompy's a good guy. Because I'm like, nope, something's up with Birch. Chompy's a good guy.
We get it. We get an answer because Jackson and Sam have a little fight again because Jackson's calling out Sam for being more of a father to Birch than he was to her at the park, and he's like, "She's 10."
Oh,
Jackson's
sorry,
like,
I
well,
didn't
then I
call
guess I
you
should have
when I was
texted you when
10.
I was 10. Yeah, and she goes to leave, and then immediately shuts the door, tells Sam he got lucky, and is like, "Chompy." And she's like, "Mm-hmm." And Sam's all like, "You know what? I'm gonna go talk to him."
Now,
And I went, "What?
okay,
He's going to go talk to him.
this
Don't go Croc Ranger on me, Sam."
Lotus established this in the car during sort of his drug-fueled rambling. He said people need to listen.
Man, I'm going to have to rewatch this and really, really just see it from purely Lotus being like, knows what everything's fucking going on. Like, yeah. No, that's great. Fantastic. Maybe Lotus
Keep going.
gets a spin-off series.
That's
The Black
it.
Lotus.
Earlier he said they need to listen, so then what do? They
People
attempt to listen to Big Mouth, Chompy.
So they're like, what do you want, man? You want to hurt us? Do you need help? And he kind of like smiles like, how can we help you? He gets down on his knees. He opens his big fucking mouth. Sam and Jackson are like, what? And Jackson's like, I forget what she says, but basically she's like, fuck it. I mean, she just tried to kill herself earlier that day.
Sure.
Yeah.
He got nothing
So
to live
she's just
for.
like, screw it, I'll try it. So she fucking climbs in. Now, I want to know, does she go head first or foot first?
She
I don't
went
think
head
they
first.
showed. Did she?
Head first.
Did they show
They both
it?
go head first.
Oh, I must have blinked then, because I'm like, yeah. So she goes in, and then at that point, he's like, I got a fucking baby foot, so what do I got to live for? So he goes in, and they're in some sort of alternate
So
Should we call
plane
it
of existence.
A portal to somewhere.
in
Chompy's
D&D,
throat or mouth.
Okay.
There is
what
a
plane are we
creature-
on, Daniel?
there's a creature known as the Astral Dreadnought, which played a key role in the second season of Critical Role, where when you enter this creature's mouth, it takes you to a pocket dimension elsewhere,
Uh-huh.
and that's what is happening here.
It is.
And so we start hearing a disembodied voice, rather than we're in this bodied voice. Chompy cannot speak in his physical form, but getting him inside into his pocket dimension mouth, we hear the lovely, lovely voice of, how do you pronounce it? Udo Kier?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You've seen him. Don't act like you haven't. He's in like a lot of shit, and he's fantastic. And he's probably the biggest get in this movie, and I love that he's just the voice of Chompy, and I think that's fantastic. It had to be a favor to someone.
And he reveals that the thing that they're fighting, the Birch, is in fact a Rexala, the thing Lotus called out earlier, a shadow parasite from another dimension. He's here to fight it, destroy it, save the world. So he's the good guy.
He's the good guy. Chompy's a good guy.
It's a good- and all you gotta do
All you gotta do is
is
not
let
tell.
Chompy be Chompy be Chompy.
Let Chompy be
and not
Chompy.
tell anyone.
Don't tell
Yeah, so
anyone,
now-
and definitely
That's it.
don't run him over in the next 5 minutes.
Don't have your wife, who you're on not great terms with, run him over with your car. I guess we
Yes.
haven't been mentioning that through this entire night.
Deb has been trying to
s-
catch up to them.
And
Yeah,
Sam
has sent
texted
her the location, texted. We've heard some conversation between him and Jackson saying, it's not her choice if I go on this joint
Because,
mission night. Not her choice.
Yeah, he's a big man.
Much like
Oh, big
how
man.
Jackson is addicted to drugs, Sam and Deb are addicted to each other.
Their toxic relationship.
So she can't leave him alone.
So she's driving down the road after we just let Chompy leave, and she's sitting there looking at her phone. And of course, my first thought, she's looking at the phone, is like, yep,
Oh,
she's
she's
gonna
gonna
run
run
over
over
Chompy.
Chompy.
And she fucking runs over Chompy.
I am so happy they killed Chompy. Because at this point in the movie, it's like, okay, mystery solved,
Mystery solved.
solution provided.
We just let him do his
everything's
thing,
good.
and we're good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but there's like another 45 minutes. What?
Yep. So look, I'm just like fucking Deborah, and they're explaining to Deborah that Chompy was the good guy that was gonna save him from the parasitic thing, and then
But
Jackson's like, and you killed him.
And something I wish because we set up Chompy as the solution, and then we take Chompy away. I wish that they had just removed Chompy entirely, that he wasn't the solution again at the end, that one of them had to somehow use that book, turn their mouth into a pocket dimension, and go that way.
See, that would have been fun too, but I still also kind of like, them basically weekend of burning
Yes, there
Chompy
too.
for the rest of the movie. Like, oh, he's still here. We can just keep his mouth open and throw shit in there. The fact that worked.
Yeah.
They go get some breakfast, right?
We go to Pete's Pancake Shop or something. It's a good syrup on the countertop time.
Yeah. So
I gotta clean it up now.
Yeah, oh, that poor waitress. Like, oh my god. Respect your food service people, because they go through hell. Don't treat them like shit. Don't pull a Jackson and have a little meltdown, and she proceeds to take the entire thing of syrup and just dump it all over the table.
Well,
And
that's
the
because
waitress
Sam's not coming up with a plan. You come up with a plan, I'll stop pouring the syrup. Oh, look at that. It's a big sticky mess. Oh, we're fucked.
Because Sam's plan was he wanted to go talk to Birch. It worked with talking to Chompy.
Deb is when they're at the table. Deb has said, "I can't do this anymore." And then Sam is like, "Oh, so you want to get a divorce?" And she was like,
Yeah.
"I'm talking about this."
Right. Doesn't even mention
But-
has she's seen the baby foot?
She sees the baby foot after that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because it's like you want to get divorced because of the baby foot. Now, this is weird though. So I just finished a book, the latest one by Grady Hendrix, called How to Sell a Haunted House. They go to a Waffle House after a traumatic experience. And is that a thing? You just go like, you have these crazy traumatic experience and like
It's,
just breakfast food anytime is a very comforting
Trauma
thing.
food, you know?
Like I agree. I'm not disagreeing with it, but like, is this an established thing, or is this just a random like, oh, I just happened to encounter 2 instances in it? Like,
Also,
right
it's
back
like
to back.
bad stuff. Probably these bad stuff in horror movies happen at night, right? And what's open at all time of the night? The Waffle House.
Waffle House stink. I'm like 2 hours away from a Waffle House, and I'm sad. Ryan, you're a little further away than from a Waffle House, so that's a little even sadder.
It's all right. I'm next to a noodle restaurant.
Do they make waffles?
I would rather get noodles at all time of the night.
But they make the noodles right in front of me. I watched
Oof.
them do the dough, spread the dough, flip it up,
Oof.
flip it down, put it in the water, take it out, do a whole thing. You know,
I do like when they do that.
I mean,
I,
everyone likes to watch people at their job, right? You like it when people watch you do your work too, right? Yeah.
do they
that's great.
do the?
No, I have
we
a
went to
wall.
a place. Kim and I went to a place in Chicago where they made the noodles next to the table. It's like a big show, and he's like twirling it in the air, and he was like, he'd whip the noodles at my face. And it stopped like 2 inches in front of my nose and whipped back. It was really impressive. I'm just saying.
No, that's performance. This was just purely.
Oh, yeah.
This is how the noodles are made, and this restaurant is so small
And it
that
just
you
so
can see
happens,
the kitchen.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it just works out that way.
Yeah, you're in the kitchen and the bathroom simultaneously.
No, it's got a neutral face for its sanitation, and you know what? Where I'm at, that's pretty good.
That's a 5-star.
The best place I ever ate had a big old red sad face, and I'm pretty sure I saw a rat run across the top of one of the counters.
I'll have what he's having.
Delicious.
If that health
Yeah,
code is
delicious.
if that health code is suspect in the place and the place is still open, you know that food's banging.
Yep, that's how it works.
How it works. I don't make the rules. Don't worry, everybody. She gives the waitress money, all the money she has for doing the syrup thing. In case you're worried, Jackson isn't a bad person.
She recognizes she did wrong,
Yeah,
I have to
but they
clean
leave
this up
without eating.
which that made me sad.
I mean, you can't really stay after that.
I would have asked for another table. This one's messy.
Just play it off. Yeah, someone made this sticky. I think we need a table over there.
I can't believe this just happened.
You really should clean your tables better before you sit people at them.
This is not top-notch service. Honestly, we should get a discount. My next note is don't trust little girls. So did something else happen with Birch right after that? I don't remember.
After this, there is a scene where Birch approaches a woman by herself. The woman, of course, asks Birch, "What's wrong? Is there anything she can do to help?" Birch just smiles at her and then looks past her. And from behind this woman comes what I'll call a horde of little Birches.
Ah, yes. Little Birches.
So
That's
they're,
where
they're
she-
like the thing, they're multiplying.
Yeah, and she
They're
goes crazy
assimilating.
on the lady, right? Not Birch. I'm trying to think. Jackson does another one of her things where she's like, if you're crazy, people will leave you alone, or they'll listen to you.
They're tracking Birch because Sam can feel her location through his baby foot.
Yes, the psychic baby foot.
He's got psychic baby foot.
So they find her and kind of like attempt to kidnap her, and a man so they get her in the trunk, and then they look over and there's a man who's just kind of like mouth agape watching them.
But not like Chompy.
Not like Chompy. But then he just like pulls out his phone, and then she Jackson kind of screams at him and tackles him and just goes wild in his face and smacks his phone out of his hand and then says, "Go."
Being crazy works.
Being crazy works.
Okay, and then they go to Jackson's house, right?
Yes.
We go to...
Yes.
No, yeah, she does coke in somebody's garage, damn it.
Well, that was earlier.
That was Lotus.
Okay, yeah. So they, but she has that salt shaker that's filled with coke, right?
Yes.
It gets smashed over one of the Birch's head.
They decide to go... So she texts Lotus to tell them that Chompy is dead and in the house. So that when Lotus wakes up, he's having a moment, getting some juice, listening to some tunes, looks over, and the soundtrack on here, like the moment you see Chompy on the shot is when the soundtrack, someone in a song is just screaming, "Ah!" It's just, it's wonderful.
Yeah, because Chompy's just laying there.
Like, what the fuck is that?
Like his mouth thing is still wide open. Like he died in full open mouth thing, which is fantastic.
And so I guess the plan is they're all going to meet back at Jackson's house, and Lotus is going to bring Chompy for some reason. But once they get into the house, they realize that they're now being surrounded by
they start trying to interrogate the Birch they have first.
Oh,
but she's not
right.
talking.
She's not talking, and his foot is telling him, more are coming, more are here.
Which Kim pointed out, well, if his foot can detect them, then they can detect his foot. And I said, yeah, I think that applies here. Like, they're all interconnected.
Yep.
Has Deborah got her baby hand yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so that happens in the attack here, right? Yeah.
So that happens while Jackson and Sam are barricading the house.
Yes,
they leave Deb alone with Birch.
Yes. So then, yeah, she's got a baby hand, he's got a baby foot, that maybe the marriage will work out.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope, they decide pretty much in the bathroom if they survive this. Let's just get it.
It's for the best.
It's for, and you know what? As someone who's, had to divorce a whole bunch of people, they're just so sweet about it.
Well, they had something else to focus on.
That's true. Their impending death.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
And at least Sam could be like, man, if only I'd have been totally cured and I didn't get left with this baby dick that totally wasn't there before. He gets it out.
Damn, Chompy couldn't have fixed that?
Couldn't have fixed my baby dick. That's a disability. Oh god, we get fucking trippy. How do we get to the point where how do we stop the horde of Birches? Hit me, boys.
Lotus drives over with dead Chompy in the trunk. He's on the phone with Jackson. She's like, can you draw a magic circle around us or something? And he's like, I can't get out of the car. There's Birches everywhere. Because at this point, the drugs are out of his system, so the Birches would no longer be afraid to attack him.
Sure.
Okay.
He's stuck. He can't move. So Jackson rushes she's like, all right, I guess we're just gonna chuck him in there. I don't know how she comes to that. How does she come to that decision?
So, well, she asks Lotus, do you think we can just put them in his mouth anyway?
Oh, right. And he's like,
he first says,
no. Well, maybe.
Trying it out.
So then he pops the trunk. Jackson storms out of the house. Here's my favorite thing. I love
Talk to me.
Any media when an adult pushes a kid down. Doesn't matter what it is. Anytime
and
it happens,
goes out of their way.
To knock a child over. Always funny. Always will be funny. I love it. So she picks up a Birch, chucks her in the thing, and then I guess another Birch. The Birch jumps on her back, and she gets she accidentally falls in.
Yeah.
So now she's in there
rides her like a hobbit.
Yeah, she's in there now with the prime Birch. Mm-hmm. And then we have this thing that I don't know.
They talk back and forth.
There's a shadow around Birch.
And Birch isn't doing this on purpose. She's been possessed by the parasite, so Birch is just an innocent little girl. Basically, Jackson does that whole, with a demonic possession thing, no, you take me type thing, put it in me.
Birch isn't strong enough to handle the shadow, which maybe is a metaphor for not being strong enough to handle whatever trauma has been unloaded on her. Maybe, I don't really know.
But the person who tried to kill themselves earlier today is strong enough.
Because she's gone through it.
Yeah, she's been through hell and back.
Yeah.
She's not going to get her deposit back.
She's waved that
not.
money. That money's gone.
That's gone.
So she takes the shadow off of Birch onto herself. So then at this point, all the little Birches turn into Jacksons. And she's like struggling for control over the parasite. She gets control. So then all the Jacksons march and throw themselves into Chompy.
Into the Chompy. Now, at any point in time, did we see 5 Jacksons at once?
Jackson 5.
I'm going to say yes.
I hope we did.
Just so we could have them all back together one last time.
Yeah, Jackson 5.
All right, Daniel, the Rexella demon spirit on the little girl. All right, so let's replace the spirit and just say drug addiction.
I mean, a little girl wouldn't be addicted.
Could be.
So I think
wouldn't take a lot.
It's not necessarily drug addiction. I think it's literally, it could be any trauma, really.
Like say your mom has a lifestyle vlog and she pushes you too hard at gymnastics and maybe snaps a bird's neck in your face.
Trauma, yes.
Birch can't get rid of the trauma herself.
You can't.
Ultimately, Jackson can't get rid of it.
You have to
herself.
reach out and get help.
Reach out to someone, and it requires getting help.
So this could be drug addiction, this could be alcoholism, this could be anything.
Umbrella trauma works.
Yeah.
That's so deep, boys.
I thought it was I did laugh for the sequence of Jackson goes in, wiggle, 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 transforms, someone else is there and pops out, and then rinse, repeat, and does a different wiggle each time. Her expression on it was just, I don't know. It was like weird. Fun. It was like constipation and like I'm gonna start to do the Macarena, but then stop. It was weird.
Oh, you're shaking off the shadow.
It's hard to dance with a demon on your back, so shake it off.
Ooh, that's a good slogan. Hard to dance with a demon on your back.
Thanks, I stole it from Florence and the Machine.
Oh. I think I've heard that song. Good point. Look, if this isn't the film that pushes Christy St. John's career forward, I don't know what's going to do it, because she was
so
absolutely
good.
Delightful as Jackson.
Very entertaining.
So I don't know. This might be something that she's on the cusp of finally. Maybe she'll get something to finally push her over the top. Her big breakout thing. I wish it was this, but not enough people are going to watch this, unfortunately. But it's tough to find someone that I think makes this movie work as well as that actress did in that role. Like, Jackson was fantastic, and Lotus, Hari Williams, he needs more work as well.
So movie's not over yet.
Yeah, movie's not over yet, but I'm just saying, when we're talking about all her different wiggles and just the fun and joy of it, that actress.
Everybody likes to wiggle.
Everybody likes to wiggle.
Yeah, she kills it.
Commits to wiggling.
I don't know why I've got these night vision goggles.
You can't see it, but I'm wiggling.
So Sam comes down in there to help his daughter.
He says very forcefully, "Get away from my daughter."
You bitch.
Yeah.
I know what the movie is intending here. It's he's accepting her as his. They're gonna form this bond. However, it's so goddamn cliche to just say that.
Yeah.
I prefer "Get away from her, you bitch."
Yeah.
Something
he
like that.
He should have just said that.
He should have just said that, and then transformed into a power loader, and then just started swiping at the air
with his baby foot.
Yeah, that's my only problem with that. How do they get out? Because they've gotten rid of the Rexella, and then the mouth closes.
Yeah. The red suicide rope from earlier is dangled through Chompy's mouth, and they use it to climb up. Now,
it is now a lifeline.
Where was that, in her trunk?
That was just in her apartment.
Interesting. So, is it...
And if you'll notice, the noose is still there.
Yes. So I'm thinking our seer, once again, knew that something was needed and went and got it. And he knew it was there.
That's good game design, too, because the red stands out. You notice it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It pops. I'll allow it.
Lotus is MVP.
Seer of the Year.
Lotus is good.
Seer of the Year award goes to Lotus.
Lotus is great. I like Lotus a lot.
Oh, okay. Once they get out of the mouth, this is where the movie goes on too long.
Yeah.
Agree or disagree?
I would have liked it if the movie ended with them seeing the rope dangle down.
Sure, that'd been a solid cut. I was okay getting the conclusion of Sam and Deborah's marriage.
That's fine. I guess what was really like, and it probably only lasted like maybe 1 or 2 minutes at most, was just the shots of everyone who
Of
had
all
been
the
in the
people
mouth,
mingling around.
reconnecting, all that stuff, and I'm like, this feels really slow now, and the movie needs to end. Let's not slow down. Let's keep going.
Yeah, my notes at the end of the movie were poor Chompy.
Oh,
Because
He's dead.
he's dead.
Whatever his Chompy was is dead.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Poor Chompy. Which, do we think Chompy just took over that guy and used him as a vessel?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. What was that man?
I kind of think that's what that was.
I don't know.
Second to last note was, I liked it, but then my final note, though, was, it could have been better. I thought it was really going to be a banger, but then it kind of petered out a bit. I don't know if it's around like 2/3 of the way through the movie. It just it was escalating into some really, really great stuff, and then I think it kind of just lost its way a little bit. I was still enjoying it, but it was no longer heading to like, this is going to be an all-star thing I'm going to watch like forever. I don't know where it was supposed to go, but just for whatever reason, I felt I was building up, and I just kind of we slid to the finish line instead of just, sprinting right through it.
I'll come back to that because similar. So we saw in this situation that once the Rixelia was vanished, Jackson and Sam were like trapped there. If we go with that Chompy, this thing has a name. Talon.
Talon? I didn't even write that down.
Talon. So if Talon had taken over someone else's body and they're just dead now, that makes me think that once he got like all the people, that Birch Prime would not have survived. Birch Prime would have evaporated into whatever was going to happen to Jackson and Sam.
If she had been left in there.
Right.
You think that she wouldn't have escaped even if Chompy was able to remove the original parasite from her?
I think in order to remove he would have to destroy her.
I think Chompy would have needed to be alive.
To make it work better?
To make it work better, yeah.
But so how'd they destroy the parasite?
Power of love, Kenny.
They didn't love each other. He loved those boots.
But she loved his boots too, and that was enough.
They were nice boots.
So to your point about the movie kind of ramping down when it needed to ramp up, agreed. I think because the threat, to Daniel's point of what was funny, is that we could just push these little girls over all day long.
Yeah.
And the girls are never like swarming or really trying to grab anyone. Really. So
I think they are. I just don't think they could show it for because of technical limitations. Because like you see Birch jump onto her back.
Only, yeah, but I don't know. On camera, I don't think they have good threat level because Birch is just adorable. Now, if we had switched to Jackson earlier and had Jackson be like the little things running around and her actually like grabbing people, tackling people,
going crazy on people, yeah.
That would have ratcheted up the threat level a little bit more. And then it would have been a Sam trying to convince Jackson Prime, or maybe he grabs Jackson Prime and they both go into the mouth that way.
Ooh,
just
like fucking...
something where the threat gets like a lot elevated and not consistent.
Like Holmes and Moriarty going over the waterfall.
Yeah, baby.
There you go. Or Hannibal and
going over the cliff.
Yeah, why am I blanking on his name? What was the dude's name in Hannibal?
I don't know.
That's a shame. That was a good show. We watched the hell out of that. Now we can't even remember the main fucking character's name.
You know what? We need to record on that so I can just get to the very end where I give my crazy theory on that she actually cut off her own leg.
So I can compare it to them fighting a raid boss.
Jesus Christ. God. So
when they're fighting the Red Dragon, the two of them, they're struggling to get it done because he's a raid boss. And he's just taking everything they're throwing at him. Oh my God!
A dragon. God, when Hannibal fought that real dragon.
I love that love story. It's so good.
Delicious.
And I love this love story. So we liked it, right? We all liked this.
I loved it.
I liked it. I love how it's just weird. It is so weird.
It is a fun, weird one. I wish I could think of more of the other oddball weird ones, except for just the only one I've got to recommend, because I know I've got more. I've seen shit like this all day. And I want to try to keep... My recommendations aren't going to be anything that's exactly like this, because there's nothing. It's just going to be more off the wall things. Like, you want to come and have a weird time?
Yes, I do.
I can give you a weird time.
Give me a weird time, baby.
I want a weird jiggly time. What do we got?
I mean, the first one that came to mind to me, something that's just so off the wall with the humor, is John dies at the end.
Yep, I was thinking that as well.
That's I think that's the same level of just ridiculousness, and you just kind of have to go with it. Otherwise, you're not gonna have a good time. Any of the ridiculous like killer inanimate object movies, I would want to recommend with this. Just because it's just, again, it's a weird thing. You see people have to deal with this thing that makes no fucking sense. Like the Slacks, the Killer Pants movie. Or, what's it, Rubber with the Killer Tire Robert?
Yes.
Oh, I have a question. Real mouth or CG?
Both.
They got Steven Tyler in there.
Well, you know what I mean.
I think so when you get the effect of him opening it and it starts to extend the jaw down, that's CG, assisted by CG. Once the mouth is completely open, I think that is a prosthetic, but they've put some CG layered on top of it, such as the Adam's apple. Some of the teeth in some shots are CG, and then in other ones it's a little clearer. It's part of the prosthetic. So I think they did the thing like they did in Blade 3, where you have the practical effect, and then you just touch it up a little bit with some CG.
In Blade 3.
Which is why it looks really nice. What
happened in Blade 3?
Look at the last boss fight scene. So some of that is practical effect, and then the stuff that's moving around is
Well, he's fighting Dracula,
CGI.
right?
Dracula does a little transformation.
Does he? I don't remember.
Now, how much CG was required to fix Wesley Snipes being a little bitch in that movie?
Well, they had to CGI his eyes open.
Yeah.
Closed.
Yeah.
Oh, closed. CGI, I'm closed, right?
You guys got any other recs?
The Thing?
Sure, for a
John Carpenter's The Thing. Maybe you've heard of it.
more serious take on a type of parasite of this situation.
Alien parasite assimilating. Yeah.
I mean, if you just want alien stuff, then, I talked about it earlier, The Faculty. It's always a banger.
It follows, because Chompy was kind of following him like that.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Invasion of the Body Snatch. Yes, Pod People.
That one's always good. You can do it with the Stephen King, Tommy Knockers.
No.
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay. No.
Daniel
No.
says
Tommy
no.
Knockers is bad.
That's why I said no.
Tommy Knockers isn't bad. It's classic.
Yes. It's classic boredom. Yeah.
You could read the book. How about that?
Tommy Knockers is bad. Stephen King's version of The Shining is bad. They're bad.
Wait. Hold on. The book, or you mean the miniseries?
The miniseries. The USA
Jesus
miniseries.
Christ.
No, not the book.
Oh, I was about to have to slap a bitch in China.
Ladies, gentlemen, and sometimes goblins, Kenny almost had a heart attack.
Business times, folks. It's time for businesses. And today's business is our next episode, 2010's Burning Bright. It's a tiger, it's a hurricane, it's a bad stepfather, it's a great big sister, it's time for dinner, it's finally a movie with meatloaf in it, so Ryan can be happy. I don't know why I'm doing this accent, but it just kind of happened. I panicked, and we're just going to stick with it. Be sure to get all your friends to like and subscribe. Tell them all about your favorite episodes, the new movies you've seen because of the podcast, how much you love it. Tell someone, okay? Now back to you guys.
Okay, fellas. Well, we have reached the end of our meal here with Chompy and the girls. We have gone on a little journey of self-discovery with each other here. So unless you guys got anything else to say about this fantastic little flick, other than you should go check it out on Tubi as soon as possible, we're gonna get out of here. As always, I've been your I could use a mouth that big host, but maybe I probably shouldn't have one that big for other reasons. Kenny?
I've been your googly-eyed seer, Daniel.
Someone should have tickled that baby foot, Ryan.
Oh god. Bye-bye.
Babyfoot.
Baby foot.
Bigfoot.
It's a car thing.